trends that are happening all over the country are really coalescing here.
Clearly, Sustainable Connections is an incredible dynamo that's making all kinds of things happen.
They've very proactively engaged different parties that traditionally may have been at odds with each other.
They're doing things that people want to participate in, and then while they're having fun, they're promoting this great message.
Instead of just only being concerned about the other two legs of being socially and environmentally responsible, they understand that a business needs to make money in order to do that.
We're doing it, and if everyone does it, then all the better.
The buy local message resonates with people really strongly.
Recognition of that campaign has shot through the roof, and you have major retailers now looking at this saying this is a strong dynamic in terms of consumer behavior in this area.
Typically, a program like Think Local First, I would expect a really powerful recognition rate to be around 20%. And in the case of this program, it was almost 3 times that. People were also changing their behavior. They were shopping differently, they were spending more of their money locally, they were doing things that I wouldn't have expected from an information-only campaign.
You all are the minds who are going to think through these questions. What is a good company? How do we define and measure and leave a legacy of good business? What's a good job? What are the emerging opportunities of a sustainable economy?
Building the strong local economic institutions that do the work of bringing people back into contact with each other, and that in so doing reduce our use of resources enough to give us some chance at dealing with these big environmental issues.
By the time we've had 6 or 8 of these conferences, the things that seem revolutionary today are going to be commonplace, and we're going to have to dream again and push out farther.
It's changed my business almost completely in everything we do, from the way we source products. I'm constantly inquiring with my vendors, what the working conditions are like in the factories where furniture is made, where the wood is sourced from.
There's challenges in kind of working within an imperfect system, and I think what it's done to me is shown me where I can, make a change. Our biggest thing is our zero waste. We don't have a dumpster anymore. We have what most people have at their home is a plastic toter on wheels.
I went to the Spring Business Conference last year, heard Red Brown speak about RiseX and how they had almost gone to zero waste.
I think everybody in this room, if you're producing anything, could eliminate your waste by 80% virtually overnight. With more effort, it's actually possible to reduce your waste stream by 100%.
And so that was an inspiration for me. And I went and visited his operation he toured me through, and it's made a tremendous impact.
We're going to be launching a whole year-long Towards Zero Waste initiative on the scale of the Green Power Community Challenge last year, like the Think Local, Buy Local, Be Local campaign.
When we look at things like recycling and our Zero Waste initiative, we want to make sure that when we initiate something like that, that it is financially beneficial as well, because if it's not, in the long run, it's not going to make sense for us, and it's not going to make sense for others who are trying to emulate that. And one of the things that I love about Sustainable Connections is that they understand that, and they represent businesses in that arena.
We have a green building program, and it started with building by building, and we've really built the capacity and the know-how. This community has built the capacity and the know-how to build green now.
We're at 44 points, and gold starts at 39, so we're definitely going to be the first LEED gold building in Whatcom County.
The point of putting on the tour was to put some outreach out to the community, architects, engineers, and other design professionals, get them out here and actually check out what we're talking about.
Once again, the natural light, you get quite a bit in here. The carpet is both low VOC and post-consumer product. The paint, low VOC.
When we started the Samish Way Urban Village Initiative, they have provided a great deal of support. And they had already conducted some similar design charrettes with the city on some other projects. And so it was a small grant, but it enabled us to get Dave Christensen, the urban planner and architect, and about 30 stakeholders from a whole bunch of groups that were interested in the topic to come in and do a half a day, sort of, design in a half a day, what might an urban village down there look like.
I think we've seen an example now in Bellingham on this tour today of every single low-impact development approach that exists.
It sheet flows down to that rain garden strip for treatment and infiltration.
There was a time when there was one or two low-impact development projects in Bellingham, and now they're happening more and more, and there's the fact that we can have a whole 3/4 of a day tour here and not see everything is a really good thing.
These things that are still new to a lot of people, we can demonstrate to show that they do work and do as they were designed to do.
This conference is all about land use and getting out of our silos and integrated approaches. We did facilitate LEED accreditation for professionals in our community, and now there's the new LEED ND, LEED for Neighborhood Development, pilot program from the USGBC, the U.S. Green Building Council. And our new waterfront has actually received pilot status.
It's a big project. We're basically trying to clean up and redevelop 200 acres on the waterfront. So it's more than a project, it's more like a whole urban renewal program. As we deal with salmon recovery and climate change and try to understand, our footprint down on the waterfront, we are trying to really understand what it means to be environmental stewards of publicly owned land.
One of the things I've been talking about in the short time I've been on board is exploring the idea of triple bottom line as part of the equation that we work on. For those who are not familiar with the concept of triple bottom line, it means that in addition to looking at the economic aspects of the project, we would also look at environmental and social impacts as well. I know a lot of you have brought those ideas forward, and I certainly didn't originate them. I heard them actually first through a Sustainable Connections conference last year.
And they were the ones that really started promoting some of the ordinances that were passed a few years ago for the LEED, the requirement for publicly funded buildings.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
The resolution passes. Thank you.
And then last year, our director of the planning department, Tim Stewart, he dedicated 4 of us in the staff to start working on incorporating sustainability practices.
We're all in this community, so we have everybody from private sector professionals, building developers, environmental advocates, transportation professionals, neighborhood leaders, government, everybody you need.
I really love the idea of a local agriculture, and I don't know whether it's going to be 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. We're going to need it. Unless there is some new miracle fuel, peak oil is a reality at some point, and shipping food all the way across the country is just not going to be viable anymore.
Promoting the notion that local agriculture is a key part of a sustainable economy. Those things are critical. So developing the farmers of the future and helping the farmers we have now be profitable and sustainable in their operations.
Each of these steps we're talking about, I really encourage you really get a grasp on the first step, getting your accounting in order, and you're setting up the budgets.
We help them think through what does that mean? What do the numbers have to look like? What are the decisions they're going to have to make, not only today, but as they look at the future?
As a chef, the role they play of connecting farmers to restaurants and retailers is very important. The buyers meetings that they set up, we always hook up with several farmers or producers at those.
I see these types of programs that Sustainable Connections is working with, say the Food to Bank On program, as establishing really a new type of mentality, a new type of farmer.
It teaches farmers how to run the business. They may be great at growing beets and carrots, but they may not always understand the ins and outs of dealing with retail and restaurant.
Farmers in general are kind of wearing so many hats as it is. It's hard to market yourself, you know, like crazy. And so I know I'm a part of the Food to Bank On program, and so that's been, you know, hugely helpful to me. Just the posters that they're putting up and all the, you know, advertising for eating, you know, fresh local produce.
Eat Local Week, just these things that come out in the newspaper and gets the word out, and people hear it over and over, and you know, it resonates. It's absolutely key to the success of any of these small operations. You get the community awareness behind it.
The farmers are just much more responsive to us when we have a relationship.
The Green Power EPA certified #1 community in the entire country, and
we have doubled what the other 6 Green Power communities have achieved. Double what the other 6. It's just phenomenal what this community has done. Let's hear it.
Of change they've impacted in almost 600 businesses now is just tremendous.
They've created a forum around which people who have similar thoughts and values can meet and discuss, and what that does is it galvanizes the thoughts and ideas of the folks that are getting together.
What are we for? That's why we keep coming back, because we want to share with people what we're in favor of, as much, not so much as what we're against.
The amount that they accomplish is staggering, and the energy and enthusiasm, you just couldn't ask for better ambassadors of the idea of sustainability.